movies. Mutilation, decapitation, torture. Does that sound entertaining? More blood than a blood bank. Have we got your attention?
Welcome back, terrestrials, except for you, the house. Fuck you. In this episode, we're doing Evil Dead 2. Um, have you ever wanted to see Evil Dead a little bit longer and then it turned into a second movie? Because that's kind of what this is. The first half of the movie is a recap of Evil Dead 1, and then it kind of like pops into Evil Dead 2 about 15 minutes into the movie.
Yeah, they didn't own
Uh,
the rights.
yeah.
That's why they did Evil Dead 2. 'Cause they didn't own the rights to Evil Dead anymore. And then so
That's
they,
crazy.
yeah. Whereas if you do it right, watch Evil Dead 1,
Mhm.
okay, like straight, and then just fast forward Evil Dead 2 to where
Evil Dead 2 starts.
the no the door where it gets him,
Hmm.
and then it plays fine.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
plays straight through.
I just thought it like when I was watching it, I was like, I forgot that they recapped the first movie for like, oh, it was just so strange. I was like, why?
Yeah.
It immediately made me because I don't dig into the movie like you do and like find out like why, like you knew why, I don't know why. Uh, it just made me think that they didn't have enough movie. So they were like, show the first one a little bit before, because it's kind of like the season recap of a new, like the new season of a TV show where the
Yeah.
first episode is always shorter because they show 15 minutes of the old season in clips. And that's kind of what that felt like, was like the original version of that.
Yeah.
Um,
No.
but yeah, Jerry wanted to do this one because Bruce got some cancer.
Bruce is not, yeah,
And
doing so good. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, he's doing as good as he
yeah,
can,
we're
but
recording this in
um
March. So this won't
yeah,
probably be out until
till
like
fucking after
April,
September or
May,
something. Yeah.
June and shit.
Yeah,
Fucking
who
so
knows?
if anything happens to Bruce Campbell from here and then and whatnot, fucking,
Yeah.
he's a
Uh
great actor
yeah,
and
totally.
that's really, I think, like other than like small little bits of Evil Dead 2, the big point of this like is to say like Bruce Campbell's fucking amazing. He acts by himself for most of the movie.
Yeah. And one of the things that like when we watched Idle Hands, one of the things that I brought up about Devon Sawa is like the physical acting within himself. And
Right.
it's like akin to this because in Idle Hands, he's arguing with his hand. And he's like, the remote's flipping, he's flipping over the couch.
Hmm.
Same thing here where Ash is fighting with his hand in the kitchen, and the hand is like dragging him along behind. It's like that physicality is just it's so good when
Yeah.
it's done right. And
Hmm.
he did it so right and made it so good. And then while I'm watching the movie, I'm like, that not like what you said about him basically acting alone, but then you look at him as a specimen, like as a man, and you're like the chiseled looks and everything, he looks like the hero.
Yeah.
Like he has the cheekbones, the square jaw. He looks like a character, like a caricature of like a hero man that you would see in a comic book.
Right.
But he doesn't, like, especially like in the first one he was very reluctant hero, and this one he kind of stands into the role a little
Hmm.
bit more.
Yeah.
There is some reluctancy, but like the comedy that he throws in with it makes it more fun to watch because like when like I thought he was going to hit her, but when he's like, I'm all right, and then she throws the axe right next to him, and then he grabs her by the arms and he's like, I said I'm all right.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he's going to slap the shit out of her. It is the 80s, they can do that still. Like I was like, this is fucking, it's funny though because just like his acting, even though he's more confident in this one,
Yeah.
he becomes more silly along with it, and it doesn't take away from his like, I don't know, manliness or his like heroicness.
Yeah.
In this one, it doesn't take away from it. It just adds another layer on top of it. And I think that
Right.
that's only something we could have gotten from Bruce Campbell.
Correct. And I think also with like like how do you like what do we do? You know, like a lot of this movie is like, well, what do we do? You know,
Mhm.
fucking like, oh, we can do the mirror. We just killed our girlfriend. Do you think everything's all right? You know,
Mhm.
like those simple like bits in there until the the like the professor's daughter and her boyfriend or
Mhm.
whatever fucking and then the guy and Bobby Joe fucking I will never forget that name. It's said like a fucking million times in the
Yeah.
movie and shit. Um but everything that happens in the second one basically happens in the first one. It's just
Mhm.
in the second one it's just vamped up and stuff,
Mhm.
you know? And like cleaned up for like the tree attack in the first one
Mhm.
is like cruel and malice and stuff. And the one in this one seems kind of like more just creepy and fun, especially like when you see the trees out there in the woods.
Mhm.
The when the boyfriend, the guy from the Home Shopping Network, um, the blonde-haired guy and stuff,
Yeah.
fucking when he turns into, a deadite, like it looks cooler than like when Scotty turns into a deadite and shit
Right. Yeah.
fucking like just I enjoy it a lot more. But yeah, I mean the greatness of, Chainsaw Hand.
Yeah, the when they first rig, I was like, how lucky is it that they had all this equipment to make this chainsaw hand? But then when he like uses the chainsaw to cut the barrel off, I was like, okay, we'll just pretend that that's possible. And then when he does like the cock and flip and puts it in there, I was like, I wonder how, like, not that is like objectively so cool
Yeah,
that like I'm sure every girl on that set took their pants off right then.
yeah.
But how many takes did that take? Because that it just it was too perfect to be like a one take hit. And I know Bruce Campbell at that time, he probably had some cool moves, but that was like, now
I
we're
bet
gonna
that
film this
motherfucker got it in the
45
first
times.
go.
You think so?
Knowing him, he got it in the first go in that groovy, and that's why he's got that like shit-eating grin on his face when he says groovy, because he's like, holy shit, I can't believe this fucking worked. He twirled the fucking shotgun
Yeah,
and fucking like he
yeah,
only looks like this.
yeah,
Just to get it right in there, and
yeah.
fucking like it just goes, and it's just like wow.
That shit-eating grin became his whole entire like signature
Groovy.
after that. Like
Mhm.
I watch Burn Notice pretty regularly. I love the show. And he's in there and that shit-eating grin is the like calling card of him throughout that thing. He's always like, "Hey, Mike, I stole your car and money and, blew everything up. My bad."
Yeah.
But like he this like these movies, it's not even the movies themselves that are great. It's him being great in the movies. Like the
Yeah.
movies are fun, they're cool, but they're not outrageously special by any means. Like we hold them near and dear because we love Bruce Campbell and we love Bruce Campbell in these movies.
Mm, okay.
These are just like these are I know people are going to be mad, but they're zombie movies. Like they're demonic zombies. That we call them deadites. That's cool,
Okay.
whatever the
Yeah.
case is. But like they're outside of the camera techniques of like the camera running through the woods and stuff like that, and the the acting,
Hmm.
there's nothing special about these movies outside of the practical effects, the miniatures, the painting, like all of that stuff is more impressive than the movie. And I think when you combine him, the miniature work, the puppetry, the practical effects,
Okay.
then you get the specialness of these movies.
Okay.
This movie could have been about Girl Scouts selling cookies if they would have still done
Put
the
Bruce
same
Campbell.
effects.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, if they would have done the same effects, the same puppetry, the same miniatures, the same everything, then you would have still had the like a good movie.
Right.
they really like they flexed their ability of forced perspective, creative camera angles,
Creative, yeah.
and all these like special effects that, were all practical.
Right, right.
Um, you can very clearly see when it's a miniature, and it does not matter. You
No,
look at it and you see it and you go, that's incredible. You
the
don't, it
fucking
doesn't,
bridge.
yeah, it doesn't take you out of the movie whatsoever. You just go,
No.
wow. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
cool
It's
because
fun.
now you don't see that anymore. So when
Hmm.
you go back and you look at it, like that was a lot of what I was having fun with
Hmm.
because I've seen the movie so many times. I was having more fun with like, damn, the detail on that little cabin is so good.
Yeah.
Like the way they
Except
lit the
for when the
inside of
camera
the
leans
cabin.
up too much and you realize there's no roof on
Yeah.
it and
Yeah.
shit.
Well,
It's
yeah.
just
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you
you
can't win
know,
them all,
you
but
can't, yeah, yeah, you can't, no perfect game here. Fucking,
yeah.
do you say that, like, okay, so since Evil Dead and Evil Dead 1, I mean, Evil Dead 2 and Evil Dead 1 are just rinse and repeats of the same style movie with different shit,
Yeah.
mine, like, sprinkled in there.
Yeah.
What movie holds like a better like story? Would you say Evil Dead 1 holds a better story, even though they're the same story? But
Yeah.
what do you find more enjoyable to watch? Two of just Ash like hamming it up, like just kind of comical,
It
or Evil Dead 1 having like more of like a horror element?
I see it's so hard to like if I'm supposed to choose between them, it's very hard.
Yeah.
And normally, me, I have a decision immediately and I stand by it. But in this case, it's really hard because it's like they made Evil Dead 1 and it's
Right.
something special
Hmm.
because it's all new. And then they were like, we can do better. So let's do Evil Dead 2.
Hmm.
So they did Evil Dead 2 and they made it a little bit more serious, a little bit more gory, a little bit more, spooky. And then we also get like, all right, Ash, you were the lovable, fumble, like Johnny Bravo style hero in the last one.
Right, right.
Let's make you a little bit more pointed towards hero. And again, the more confident, and so like they're each special in their own way.
Hmm.
And I don't want one without the other.
No, yeah, definitely. No, I
So
want.
I don't really have a choice. I guess if I were forced to pick, I would still pick the first one only because that's my original love. Like
Right.
that's the first one that I saw. That's the one that stuck with me. That's the one that I watched the most. Nothing against number two. It's just it's the devil I know. Like I love this one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm in the same boat here. Whereas, like, yeah, Evil Dead 1, I think I've watched Evil Dead 1 more,
Mhm.
because of, but I like Evil Dead 2 for the more cartoon elements, the hands, the chainsaw hand, and
Mhm.
the fucking boomstick,
Mhm.
like before we even get into like Army of Darkness and shit,
Right.
fucking. But I would even say like Evil Dead 2 is like one of those like gremlins basically. Like you could basically just show like fucking kids Evil Dead 2 and it's all right and stuff. Fucking
Yeah. Yeah.
minus the girlfriend, like she's the puppet. It's got like a rotten tit hanging out
Mm,
and stuff. But
there's
eh.
worse out there than that in real life. So,
I don't
uh,
remember too much in Gremlins the same and shit. Fucking, fucking
I,
one of them Gremlins didn't have titties.
I do feel like they, I feel like number two is like they made all the correct adjustments to make it, even though it's essentially the same movie, they
Yeah,
basically went like, okay, this was the blueprint, and in by ignorance, we nailed it.
yeah,
By not knowing that we couldn't do it, we did it perfectly.
right.
Now, number two, let's change it and do a little bit more because now we know we can force perspective. Now we know we can use these shots to make things. So now we're going to sink more money into miniatures and
More
paintings,
money.
like the background, like when he's at the bridge and he's yelling, and it's very clearly him superimposed on like a little miniature bridge
Hmm.
and the painting of the background and stuff. Like, now let's do more of that kind of
Yeah.
thing because we know we can and we know the story's strong enough to hold these
We
things.
got enough
Let's
money
put
to put
more.
Sam Raimi in fucking suit of armor and shit fucking
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the
exactly.
or
For the
that
last 10 minutes of the movie.
fucking giant the apple face, the rotten apple face that
Mhm.
comes through the door.
Yeah.
The like that is impressive and
Mhm.
shit. Fucking, like the whole thing of like how much money do you have to like I mean the hand in general.
Yeah.
The whole thing with the hand, once it's cut off and stuff. I will say I like the dagger more in the first one. I think the dagger in the first one, the Kandarian dagger, looks way more impressive in the first one than it does in the
This
second.
one, it looks just kind of like a spine.
It looks like
And
a prop. Fucking like,
yeah. Yeah,
it-
it looked like a Halloween store replica of the first one.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but
Like
yeah,
yeah, I fucking went to Spirits and got that shit. But
yeah.
I mean the book, I like the book in the second one more than I do in the first one because the first one
Yeah.
it looks like it's uh like there's pages fucking missing or something in the first one and shit.
Yeah.
Fucking but
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like it seems like in some aspects of it, they were kind of like, let's go hard. Let's see what we can accomplish.
yeah.
And they did. But again, the blueprint of the first one, I just love it. This
Hmm.
one, I no slight to this one whatsoever. They're both S's in their own right.
Yes.
They just like if I had to pick one, I would put the first one because it was the first one.
Yeah.
It was the
Shit.
blueprint. It was,
Watch them all. Fucking, there's never been a miss in the Evil Dead series. And we talked about like I still haven't watched that newest one, the Australian one or
so
whatever. Fucking,
there's two well, there's the 2000 like 17
there's
remake or
the
something,
remake, yeah,
and then
the
Evil Dead Rises.
yeah, and then
Or
Evil
is
Dead
that what it
Rises. I haven't
is?
seen
Yeah.
Evil Dead Rises. I mean, but you watched Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, Ash versus the Evil Dead, fucking the Evil
I
Dead remake. Fucking they're all great.
Now hear me out. I think Ash vs. the Evil Dead is peak Bruce Campbell and peak Ash.
Oh yeah, no shit. Fucking they got all of the original like Ash in the first movie, the second movie, and
Mhm.
Army of Darkness. You just net up
Mhm.
and then you throw him into the
That's
new
where he,
scenario.
yeah, that's where he became Ash. Like that's where he like embodied that character.
Yeah.
Like he was still kind of fumbling through different like characters of like trials of him, but then he's got the shit-eating grin the whole time because he knows that works. He's a little bit older, he's a little bit thicker,
Yeah.
so he's not like the hero built hero
Right.
anymore. Um, he's not scared anymore. He's like kind of when he has to deal with deadites,
Right.
even if he's trying to bang one, and he doesn't realize it's a deadite. But like that's peak Ash to me, and
Hmm.
that's peak Bruce Campbell outside of him playing Sam Axe on Burn Notice.
Right.
That's like the peak Ash version. And I think that if there was a way to put that guy into those original movies, I don't know if it would work, but I would have
It
liked to have
wouldn't.
seen it.
Because in the first one, he has to be timid because nothing bad has happened to him.
Yeah,
He's
that's
got his
fair.
girlfriend, he's got
That's
his
fair.
best friend, he's got his girl, and my sister's here. We're gonna have a great time at the cabin this week,
Right,
guys,
right,
before we go off to college or whatever. Fucking the backstory is.
right. Yeah.
They're just gonna go to the cabin. Okay, so if we are taking the premise that the events of the first one happen and then we go straight into the second one, okay, the second one, Ash has seen some shit and fucking he's dealing with shit, but he hasn't dealt with it at all. He has to cut off his hand and then we go into Army of Darkness, where he's pissed in Army of
Mhm.
Darkness, but also he's fucking a badass.
Yeah.
But then he gets sent, like, if you watch the end credits, where in Army of Darkness, where he's like, I could have been king, I could have stayed, and he's
Yeah.
still working at fucking S Mart and shit,
Yeah.
and fucking Ted Raimi sitting there like, yeah,
Yeah.
I bet. And that's the progression of where Ash is, that he's been living with that idea since the 90s, that he could have been this like idea.
Yeah, because as
And
soon as he showed up at the end of Army of Evil Dead 2, they were like, "Are you a god? Like, are you king? Let's
no,
make you king."
hail the
And mean
one
it.
from the
Yeah,
skies to
yeah,
defeat the Deadites.
yeah,
Now, if any of you primitives even touch me,
yeah, yeah.
fucking, like, that's our next, like, we have to do Army of Darkness.
Oh,
It's
of course, yeah.
like that Army of Darkness, like, it just keeps, like, there is never one of these Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, Ash versus Evil Dead. There's never one where Ash is kind of like not ramping up each one, where it's
That's
like,
that's a
oh,
good point. That's
yeah,
very
Ash
true.
is
Yeah,
like here in the first one, he's here in the second one, he went down here in the third one, but then he was back. No, no, no. Each one, it's more of a progression of watching Ashley Williams,
yeah,
fucking,
yeah.
kick ass, take names, fucking,
Ashley Slashley.
yeah, Ashy Slashy. Fucking, yep,
Um,
they're all deadites.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
but
All
in
right.
that case,
Well,
Jacob, would you go see someone in the theater?
yeah, yeah. I
Of
think it would be
course.
really cool if they
I think yeah,
remastered it.
I think it would be great to see in the theater. Yeah, I would love to see this in the theater. Do you have physical copies?
Yes,
I do too.
I got VHS and DVD.
I have like one of the Deadite books that is made out of fucking like the mask stuff that's just flaking off. I got fucking,
Yeah, I remember you showed me that back at the old house.
yeah, you used to scream and then the batteries ran out and shit. But I still have the pages of the Necronomicon in there.
Nice.
Um, I got Blu-rays. I got a fucking VHS. It's
I
it's
have
it's
Army of
that one.
Darkness on Blu-ray. Only that one though.
Hmm.
The rest of them are on regular DVD, so I
I
guess I'll just watch that.
No, I have Army of Darkness on regular DVD. So,
I'll
but
switch. I'll switch it. You give me the regular DVD. I'll give you the Blu-ray to match the rest of your Blu-rays.
um, cult classic.
Yeah, because everybody talks about the original. Not a lot of people talk about number two in Army of Darkness.
I think that when they say it, they just put both of them together.
Well, yeah, I think when you say Evil Dead, you're talking about three movies,
Yeah,
but I don't think most people are. I think horror fans, when you're talking to another horror fan, you go Evil Dead and then you talk about these three movies. I think to the normal person that you go, you seen Evil Dead? Yeah, I saw that one.
right.
And then that you hear that I saw that one.
Yeah,
That's the like determining fact. They've seen that one, but the other two they probably don't even know exist because Evil Dead blew up and became so big and
right.
such a cultural thing, especially Bruce Campbell and everything, that people focused on that one and outside of the horror community forgot about the other ones or
Hmm.
didn't know about the other ones. So I think this one still falls under cult. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the true blue fans out there of these movies, like, just lump them all together, and the
Yeah.
people who just are stand buyers, fucking, what do you call it? Fucking, window watchers and stuff are just
Weekend
like
Warriors,
Weekend
whatever.
Warrior. Yeah, they're just like, oh yeah, I've seen Army of Darkness, or I watched the TV show, and
Mhm.
it's like, what are you talking about? Fucking put them all together, because they're all
Mhm.
just one continuous story.
Yeah.
So, would you recommend this movie to people?
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they've seen the first one, they haven't seen this one, then yeah, you slap them in the face and you go home and watch it right now.
Like, really? You're a 40-year-old. You should have seen Evil Dead for a long time. So,
Yeah, for sure.
you know, I think it's probably one of the greatest. Like, just like it's one of the funnest horror movies to just throw on, and you kind of pay attention, but if you don't, you know, I mean, you're not going to be missing anything. But
Right, yeah,
then
you're definitely not gonna see.
I mean, like for the first half, it's just like Ash fucking like